Hell yeah, hell yeah. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just realized I never sent Pat the link. He was saying he was running late, but he still needs the link. Where's that cutie patootie? All right, send it over there. How's everyone doing today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the DTL warm up where we talk about bullshit. We talk about bullshit. Drag the Lake every Wednesday, every Friday, and every Monday. Your boy Andy Malafrina in this fucking bitch, forgetting to do fucking shit. If you're listening in the current or in the future, whatever makes you fucking happy, go check out the other thing if you like that thing. Are these good? Are these good promos? Go check out the fucking thing. Hey, whoa. Oh, I thought you were calling us losers. I was like, that's crazy. St. Ivan is first. Racism has lost again. Look at him. Look at him clowning on you pieces of shit. St. Ivan, number one. Best in the world. He's the CM Punk of the chat. St. Ivan is the CM Punk of the chat. He's the best in the world. Yeah, what's going on, man? I've been trying to figure this damn thing out. What are you guys figuring out? What's on your mind today? What do you guys want to talk about? Now, I need Pat to come in here and yell about something. You know what it is? I've talked about this before. This goes back to high school and whenever they'd make you write, term papers, 5-paragraph essays, shit like that. I was always excuse me. I was never good at starting them. They'd make us write these like 5-paragraph essays. That was a big thing in high school, by the way, 5-paragraph essays. They made us write these 5-paragraph essays. And I remember it was so easy. It was so easy for me to write it. But once I got started, but when I was like trying to think of that first paragraph, that was like next to impossible. It was so confusing and so hard. Pause. Just like my uncle. But yeah, that first fucking paragraph. That first fucking paragraph was always the worst. I don't know what it was exactly. I don't know what was going on. But yeah, but you give me a jumping off point. That's why I like became big into, and I know a lot of people frown upon them. You know what I mean? All these soulless cretins in the comedy world. They look down upon wait a minute, Drag the Lake is live. Let me post this in the fucking Twitter. Yeah, I know a lot of cretins of the comedy world look down upon doing reaction videos. Because, everyone who does comedy is such a fucking, I don't know. I gotta stop. You know what a real problem with human beings are? You create a fake. You see it all the time when people are screaming about politics on the internet. There's a lot of times when people are screaming about politics on the internet, they're like, not that there's not like, they'll be like screaming about certain types of people, but they'll do it in a way where they'll be like, oh, the same people that are doing this are now doing this. And it's like a really outlandish caricature of an actual human being. And you're like looking at that like, oh, okay. You like made up a person in your head to get mad at. And you didn't even like do it. You didn't even do it like on purpose. This is just like what you do. This is like what you're doing right now. You're just like making up a human being, forgetting that you kind of like constructed that human being. And now you're just like mad at them. I would see wrestling fans do it all the time. Wrestling fans would do it all the fucking time. Because I did a wrestling podcast a while ago before COVID happened, and got zero traction. It was really upsetting. I actually had a lot of fun doing it because, like, I realized besides just the characters and the wrestling and the stories they tell and this and that, it's just fun. Wrestling's really like Lemaire said this, and I didn't know what he was saying until I experienced it myself. Where he's like, because I think Lemaire was telling me he doesn't a lot of times watch the pay-per-views if he doesn't watch them live, he doesn't really like watch the pay-per-views. And he's like, it's just especially too like the way Twitter is, you know, not even just fans. WWE spoils shit. I mean, the second it happens, WWE posts something on Twitter about it. And it's like once you already know what's going on, it's not the same type of fun. It's not the same type of fun because going back to what I was saying earlier, half the fun of watching wrestling is sitting there trying to figure out what they're going to do. And like that's why the best wrestling happens when they do something you weren't expecting, but then after you sit back and you go, "Oh, it's after it happens, you go, "Oh, it's so obvious that that's what they should have done in this moment." That to me is like some of the best wrestling. And how am I relating this? What was I talking about earlier? Um Oh, that's why I just like figuring shit out. That's a big thing I like to do. And I forgot how I correlated this earlier. I forgot how I was correlating to this thing earlier. No, I was talking about like I know I was talking about the reaction videos and stuff like that. Guys, help me on the chat. How did I get from A to B to Z? Um but no, I was saying too, like with the reaction videos. I always like doing them because it's like I work. I don't know. I work better when. That's why I asked Pat to do these podcasts with me. It's like I have a good. You guys can tell right now, but also too my momentum's a little bit different. Yeah, comedians being gay about reaction. I forget exactly what the through line was and stuff like that. But no, it's just yeah, oh, that's what it was. I remember it now. I was like, there is a level of it that's like self-imposed. Not that there wouldn't be. Well, because the thing you got to remember about comics is if you one, most of them are just going to be nice to your face. You know what I mean? Most of them are just going to be nice to your face. So like that doesn't even matter. And then if you get more like you see it all the time with like comedians who are more popular. You know, those like littler things that you would maybe get someone with if they weren't as big and couldn't help your career out. You're gonna like put those to the side and not notice. You're only gonna like that's where I mean not just comedians but like really really famous people in general that can do shit for other people. That's where they get insulated. Is like it's not on it's not on like the big stuff because the big stuff's like obvious. The big stuff's like obvious. Like I'm trying to think of an example, but like if you did some big fuck up, like if you were hanging out and I don't know, you just fucking stumbled and or you ripped ass or you like fucking shitted, you farted and it was like it was a little bit of doo doo, it was something big like that. But it's like the bigger you are, you're not gonna have friends being like, you're gonna wear that hat unless you have like OG day ones, which is good. You know what I mean? Because now that I'm saying that part, there are a lot of there are like I know people who they got a good circle. They got a good circle that's like, no, they're gonna tell you if you're trying to be too much of a cool guy, if you're wearing the fucking hat that is not you, shit like that. You know what I mean? But the ones that go astray, they don't have people giving them shit for the little stuff. Um, but yeah. So like, and I think that is part of too comedy where we're just naturally like that. You're gonna like get on people for shit like that. And it's like, it's kind of funny. It's like justifiably so. I think you know what it is for me. Like I get irritated on more things, and I'm sure you guys can tell by watching the podcast. I get irritated on more things than the average person on like where I'll be like reacting in a way where I'm like, brother, just let me live. You know what I mean? On certain things. And then other things, it's like, oh yeah. Cause like I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of because like I know for me, I'll get shit for I'll get shit for doing certain things. where it'll be like, that's not you. And it's like, brother, I know it's not me. Let me try to expand myself a little bit. Let me try to grow as a person. You know what I mean? So if you pick up a certain like, I guess if it's a thing of like self growth, those are the ones where I go like now, if I become like the Nate and Lemaire were doing it on the podcast recently about like, they were like, and they were being funny, but they were also being kind of like truthful in their feelings. They're like, fucking give up the books. Stop trying to fucking, and I go like, no, it's not. Cause like, dude, I gotta be honest. It's not good where I'm at with this shit. Where it's like, why is it a thing? Why is it even a thing where it's like, no, she should be able to sit down and crush a book. Now, I'm not saying I gotta fucking, do that shit where I'm fucking reading a book a day or nothing like that. But it's like, it shouldn't be as much of a fucking thing as it is. But also too, that's, part of that is like having the ADHD and all that fucking shit and all that annoying shit. So it is extremely useful on my part. It is extremely useful on my part to like work at that shit. Cause it's like, it's not as much of like being, it's not as much like, no, I'm actually a book guy. It's like, no, if I try to like learn how to focus on this, because the reality of the situation is I actually read a lot every day, but I jump around a lot. And my big thing is like, let's stay focused and let's just finish a goddamn book. That's why I enjoy comic books a lot more, because they're just like, they're way easy. Like books you really got to like sit with and like vibe out. And I'm very bad at doing that. Comic books, you get a comic book, you crush that. You know what I mean? You crush a comic book, you can read that in half an hour, and then Books, it's like dude, I'm reading Salem's Lot right now, which is okay, but it's like, it's like, oh, here's this sick vampire book by Stephen King. And I'm like 150 pages in, and I don't know if a vampire has shown up. And like, I get it. If you're a reader, 150 pages isn't crazy, but it's like, I don't know. Well, it also sucks too, because it's like, it's not even like my main thing. So it's like I'm doing other things throughout the day. I don't know. Maybe I should just focus on, because it's like, dude, it's why, like, actually, I do like about Stephen King books where, like, if you look here's a good example. Like, we're in a chapter now, and it's like, but it's like part 18 of whatever chapter this was, and then you do like 1, 2, and then boom, chapter 19. So, or I'm sorry, section 19 of chapter whatever that was. So I like that. I like when books have that, where it's like you can kind of like break it up in a way where it's like we can do a little bit of this or a lot of it. It's the reason why, for me, it's why it's easier to casually get into a show versus a movie. You know what I mean? Because it's like we've all been there where, you try to watch a movie and you get bored in 15 minutes, and then you find a TV show, or like a 2-hour movie seems like a fucking task. But then you throw on a TV show, and, the episodes are 20 minutes to 45 minutes or whatever. And you just, oh, did I just watch the entire season of The Sopranos accidentally? You know what I mean? Like, I've done that so many times. I've done that the most with Always Sunny. Every time, except the last 1 or 2 times, because I just didn't know that the seasons have come out, so I didn't get to them right away. But every time a new season of Always Sunny comes out, I'd throw that shit on, and then I'd sit there, and then next thing I realized, I go, oh, I'd watch, because, I would never watch them live on FX. Hulu, a year or two later, would always throw them up. They'd always throw them up on Hulu whole season, like a year or two later. And, yeah, dude, I'd sit down on the couch, I'd throw on Always Sunny. Usually with my wife, we'd throw on Always Sunny, and then next thing we realize, like, oh, did we just watch the whole season? And it's like, I'm trying to force. It's a funny thing where it's like you're trying to force yourself to sit down and read for a little bit, and then that seems like a whole fucking thing. But then you can just, you know, and it's not even because you look at Always Sunny and be like, oh, but that's like a comedy and shit. Like that's easy to watch. It's like, dude, I've done it with The Sopranos. I've done it with much more boring shows. You just sit down and then you're just like, oh, did I just do one thing for 5 hours straight? You know, I don't know. I'm just like, here's my thing is like, I learned I was like a whole know-it-all when I was younger. I was a whole know-it-all when I was younger, and I missed out on a lot of cool things. And I'm like, I go like, no, I don't discount something until I like actually give it the true try. But anyway, that was a little bit of a side quest because I got made fun of for liking books because my friends are fucking dumbasses who like to stay fucking dumb. Oh yeah, also too, Lemaire was trying to call me out because I was making fun of him on one of these, and he was like, "I heard you were talking shit." I go, "I was about you because you're a fucking fuck who I can't who shuts down when I talk to your face. So I do it." I do it through podcasts, and hopefully you hear it. Hey, Sidewalk Toes in the mix. How you doing, brother? I've been reading the Jefferson Bible. It's just Jesus quotes, so it's easy. Nice. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. If they could just, because the way that TV was back in the day was the most consumable. The way that TV was back in the day, talking about things being very consumable.
It's dumb. Everything's dumb.
Everything's dumb. All right. Not breathing, dude. You breathing you got some good ass breathing through that nose.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was saying they got it because, dude, I was thinking about this. Where actually, wait, this is a good topic, but let me finish up the thing I was saying before, guys, because I love starting topics and then going on to 18 other ones. Now, I was saying about it's good to have those friends that like shit on you. Where I was saying about like, you know, if you're doing things for like self growth, a lot of people will shit on you because they feel uncomfortable because they almost internalize it. Like, are you saying I'm a fucking loser? And you're like, no, it's just like a me thing or whatever. But it is the thing too where it's like, at the same time, it's why we have that story of bullying Brendan Crick when he got like a turquoise, he got like a fucking arrowhead necklace. What the hell?
What the hell just happened?
The internet here was like, boring story, Andy.
Jesus, that was crazy. That was so quick.
Yeah, the page didn't go away on my end. That was interesting.
Yeah. Also, you just clicked away, and then it just put me in charge, and I was like, "What? I'm not ready."
No, that's the thing. I didn't do anything. I was just sitting here yapping, and then my computer was like, "Shut up, idiot." No, I was just making the point. It's good to have people that if you just show up one day and you got like a different costume on, they're like, nah, this isn't.
Well, I think it's actually it's a thing where like you're rightfully making fun of something, but like honestly, you are helping a friend. Like it really, it's actually, it reminds me actually of just days ago when everybody found out what my email address was, and that's my only email address, and also possibly uncovered the fact of why no booker ever responds to me. And it was like one of those things of like, it could be my worst fear of I am the least funny person in the world and everybody hates me, or it could just be they think it's spam. And and I never even assumed that at all. And that's why I said I think that's a good 10-year late note, because nobody ever said, hey, get an email that says just your name.
Yeah,
but it makes sense. It's like one of those things where it's like, it makes sense. It's just I didn't think of it. I put on the sweater. I thought it looked nice. And I come outside and my friends go, you look like a fucking piece of shit. And I go, oh, I had no idea. Thanks.
That's where, that's where sometimes it's incredibly exhausting, but other times that's where Nate's thing where he just like won't let it go comes in handy.
Yeah.
Because that's where I was sitting there being like, man, I've known about this email forever. Have I been a bad friend to Pat the whole time? Maybe. Because I just go like, cool, because my thing is like, because I remember when I saw the email, and I guess we don't want to give it away, but
I
it's
don't give a
hilarious.
shit. I'll probably have to erase it in a little bit anyway.
Oh, it's hilarious. His email's hilarious, and I remember texting you being like, "Is that really your email?" And you're like, "Yeah, why?" And I go like, "Okay," and then I just kind of like left it there.
I don't know.
I
Sorry,
never considered, because I'm not an email guy. That was the other thing too. Like, I'm not an email guy, so I never considered how it would look showing up in someone else's inbox. And I go like, I literally, when we were doing the pod and Nate said that, I go like, oh, that is actually a good point.
Yeah, I had no, but that was also the other thing of like, I haven't been thinking like, oh, I've got to be a good business. I was just like, what's funny? And my email is pretty funny. I don't know.
Well, dude, that's what I realized. I had a thing happen very recently where it just, like, I don't want to get into it because it's like private stuff, but it just made me realize. I go like, can I just move? I just want to. I think you and me, we moved to a small town with our wives, I guess, and we get one of the, like, we just set up a bar or like a fucking sandwich shop, and we just have like the hours on the board are like, we're open for like 3 hours a day, Thursday through Friday.
Cash only.
And, yeah, cash only. We're really mean to you, but we just have that. They're just like, ain't nobody make a chicken parm like Pat and Andy do, and like, cause this shit, this whole fucking thing where you need to like, I don't know, you need to like be a professional guy that gives a shit. I just go like, it's just not for me, man. I don't
want 100 emails. I don't want to be like, I do a lot of things. So if I'm like, hey, you want me to produce? Here's my production email. Hey, do you want this? There's my other. I forget all the fucking passwords, man. Just fucking email the goddamn, like, you don't criticize somebody for the street they live on. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't go like, what do you live on? Mockingbird Lane. It's just like one of those things of like, yeah, write it on the fucking envelope, dickhead. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. I guess it's not like my email is like legitimately real email, American business at americanbusiness.com. It's like, it's not like a thing of like, please click.
It's
very important.
Well, here. It's on par with. Yeah. Derek said my first email was Screeching Weasel, Screeching 9. Oh, the 9 is the G. Screeching Weasel it's with clever. 9s and. It's on par with that.
Mine's Ace of Base. But it's BASS because I play bass. It's like it is part of my bio. My alter ego that I like to use is Ace McCloud because it's one of my favorite Centurions from the old cartoon. And I'm giving away state secrets, essentially. At this
state secrets, yeah.
And bass.
I'm going to have to...
People go, Ace of Bass? And I go, no, stupid. What do you put in your car? Bass? Speakers?
Pat, can we be fair, though? If anyone had Ace of Bass, he'd look like you.
I do wear a lot of camo and bucket hats.
Look at you, dude. Like, yeah. I feel like you're gonna turn off a green screen, and I'm realizing you're in a boat fishing.
You know what? I did. That's why I was late. I had to dock. I had to get off. Get off the river there. You know, they're biting this morning. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I was a little. I
want to spook the fish.
I had a lot of fish to debone. Well, you know what my problem is I'm funny over everything. I go like, so like when you tell me your email is Ace of Base, I just go like, yeah, that's probably not the best email to have business wise, but it is the funniest thing ever.
But I'm not a business. That's the thing. It's like one of those things. I'm like, I get it. If like, but if I swear to God, if the reason some fucking stupid dickhead booker didn't look at my email because it's like, what, Ace of Bass? Like, it's one of those things of like, that should be eye-catching. Instead of like, oh, my name's Robert Patrick Comedian. Like, fuck you dorks. Like, it's the same thing I was talking about with the stand-up thing where you're like, oh, I've worked really hard and I've thought of really funny words over years and years to say this funny. Like, just be funny in the moment, dickhead. I don't know. Like, it's like one of those things of like, I think I've come to the conclusion, and it's not everybody obviously, but a lot of like I think the norm nowadays of like the up and coming stand-up comedian is rich kid. is just a kid who has a lot of money that and their parent, they're essentially Armin Sarukians. It's not that they're not talented
Who?
or they're he's an MMA fighter who's like loaded rich, but he also is very talented
Yeah,
and is very
yeah.
skilled. Like it's not he hasn't been. I don't think it's like you've been handed anything, but it's
Well,
just one of
there's a
those things
lot
of
of
like
that,
you have
dude.
had.
Okay, and now Pat got kicked off.
What the
Sorry,
heck?
I
Are
think
we just
no,
too
no, no.
many truth bombs?
What? Yeah, we're too many. They're gonna hate the Benjamin Netanyahu hour.
Oh my god!
No, legitimately, I think Steph's still on a meeting, and
Just
my
tell her to
internet's
get off. Could you just tell her?
like, "Hey, babe, 7 people are watching me talk about myself."
And Pat.
I felt weird about something yesterday, and 7 strangers need to hear about it.
Yeah. How are they gonna know how I feel about my email address?
Yeah. I'm doing a very detailed esoteric breakdown of my email address and how it pertains to life itself. Can you get off the meeting? But anyway, the fighter.
Yeah, Armin Sarukian. Essentially, it's like just like the open mic kids nowadays are just like kids that have money or parents with money or something like that. To where like it's, and I'm not saying that again that they're not putting in the work and that they're not trying and they're not listening to all the comics that say you got to write every day, you got to grind, you got to do stuff. And it's a whole other thing. But it's like it's shifted from this is the only way of that these people can get into entertainment, and they're also very talented, and but it's usually just a ton of traumatized people that have defense mechanisms that they are trying to monetize. But now it's just like one of those things of like, I told my mom I wanted to be a stand-up, and then I went to my local college who was teaching a stand-up course, and I took stand-up. Like that's the thing, is like there's stand-up comedy courses in college now, and it's kind of like it's
actual
also
colleges.
yeah. Bucknell. I spoke at Bucknell. The fuck
What?
is that about?
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Can't you, give context? Can't just say that. What are you
there was
talking about?
that I was asked to speak at Bucknell for the comedy writing class, and I think this particular, I don't even remember what the class was about. I prepared not at all. It was one of those things of like me addressing students is a bad idea because I'm just gonna go, what are you doing here? Quit, stop.
Yeah.
But it'll be scared straight, but for school, it'll be like, you're wasting so much fucking money, you idiot. Literally, if you're coming to college to learn stand-up comedy, quit college. You got to stop doing it and just go do stand-up comedy.
Well,
Because
yeah, that's a whole fucking thing with they need to stop. I mean, I could go down a whole tear of how they need to just stop fucking romanticizing college like it's the only thing. Like it is kind of funny, like when you see people going like the most important thing is that we have free college for everyone, and then everyone you talk to, like, bro, I know so many people with office jobs that they're like, yeah, I went to college for 4 years and I don't like, everything changes every year. So all I do is when a new problem arises, I look it up and an Indian kid explains it to me on Google, on YouTube or some shit like that. And that's how it is. Dude, I remember being in college with like my degree was electronic media, but it was basically communications. Like I was like one of the few schools that just didn't call it communications. And dude, in one of the classes, they were like, oh, all this shit changes like every 4 years. They're like all the editing techniques and
hey,
all this other shit. What's up?
this one from Triple G here. If you want to do an open mic, I have to drive almost 2 hours north for a minute of me bombing. Yep.
Yeah.
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 That's
but
what it is for a long time. That's what it's like one of those things. And doing a college course doesn't fix that. Like that's what you gotta.
Yeah.
That's the grind, I think.
Well, yeah, and also it was funny too. You're saying about like all the rich kids, and that's why you get such a mix of like bullshit and actually good comics, because dude, it's very similar. I learned about this a while ago. Like the journalism industry shifted really hardcore because apparently back in the day it used to be like a real working class job. Like you could just be a guy and you could do, work for a newspaper, get some stories and da da da. And then it like shifted into a rich kid thing where it was a lot like you had to do like a fuck ton of interning bullshit
Mhm.
and in the middle of New York, and who can work for free all day in the middle of New
Right.
York? It's
Pay for
rich
parking
kids.
or
It's
travel
it's
or
it's
anything.
rich kids getting their shit paid for, and
Yeah.
this and that. And it's a very similar thing to like stand-up comedy, where that's the same thing with fucking comedy, where it's like, oh, you have to be in the most expensive city in the world, and you have to be in the most expensive city in the world, and you have to be out every night, but you also have to figure out a way to pay for it. And you're like, who can pay for that? You're like, well, it's either really rich kids or incredibly passionate people living in squalor.
With 17 other incredibly passionate people.
Yeah,
Like,
so
that's the
that's
thing. You have
why.
to live with 17 people in a one-bedroom apartment or have a trust fund. And it's like, and that's the thing. I want to reiterate. I'm not even saying like they're not funny. I'm saying that they're they have such a fucking, I don't know what it is. It's just one of those things. I feel like it's the wrong idea of kind of like this thing of like getting support. I always felt, and this is just me
Wait,
projecting.
explain that again.
Well, I was just getting into it. My like this is just me projecting or me kind of like maybe just thinking of it from my personal experience, but it's like it's coming from a world of like already having support and recognition. And I kind of feel like that's not how most of the people I know that have done comedy have come from it. And not all, and that doesn't mean anything, but it's really just about like you get into stand-up comedy, you find your group, and then that's your support group. And then
Yeah.
that's your like this is a thing where you're like, well, if I fail, then my dad will pay my rent and then I can try again. And it's like there's no stakes. There's no real like there's no leap and there's no anything in it. And I think really what it is I'm pointing it out more just to say I've
I
noticed
will
this.
not change my email.
I will not change my. Well, that's what my thing is. They're all perfect. They all got great emails, and they all like, oh, I've got a treatment and I got a thing. They're just all so prepared and smart and college educated, and it's one of those things of like,
It's so funny. All
there
this
has
because you
to
don't.
be. Sorry, go
All
ahead.
this because you don't want to have pgeorgecomedy@gmail.com.
I don't. I hate it. I've done PG comedian as my Instagram handle. Didn't help. I didn't. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather just have a funny name.
Yeah.
I'd rather be hard to find and funny than super easy to find and marketable. I don't, and that's terrible for business. It's, and it's the worst fucking instincts I could ever have in my life. Because when Nate was saying it, I'm laughing. I think he's absolutely 100% right, and I think it's even funnier the fact that it never occurred to me to go like, I better have a professional email. But it makes total sense. It makes
It's a
total sense. But
very
I'm not a professional fella. That's
no.
just
It's
not my
a it's
thing.
a it's a very funny thing where that is like the weird balance of it. Well, it all goes hand in hand of like how much do you want. How do I say this? It all goes hand in hand when you think of it from like an artistic standpoint. It all goes hand in hand of like, well, what do you want out of this? And the problem is like the pure of this is gonna sound super pretentious, but just go with me. It's like but it's like the pure you want to be about the artistic endeavor. You start to look around and you go like, oh, there's no money at all. Like I'm not
Yeah.
even trying to, and that's
Yeah,
like the
after a while, you're like, wait, how did you guys get all that money? You're like, wait, where? Well, I didn't. I thought we were all just kind of doing this because like we love it. And
wait,
it's
you
like,
all compromise slightly? What?
nobody pays you for loving this. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But no, they want the value of it, and I get it. I get that part of it, but it's also like I've chosen the professions I chose when I was younger were like a means of survival and not necessarily entitlement. Like it wasn't a thing that like I'm so driven I have to do stand up comedy. I'm just this is who I am, or like a band, or like this was a thing of like, hey, I'm pretty good at this. This will be my career, because I know I'm not a doctor. I know I'm not a fucking business owner. I know I'm not like I'm not professional. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a fucking doctor. I'm not any of those things. This was like a thing where I'm like, hey, this looks like a respected career. I feel like I
Yeah.
have some natural ability in this, and I'm going to work at it.
Yeah.
but like I didn't get enough of the other side of it
No,
you know what I mean?
it's like the 100% because we kind of talked about. I brought this up a little bit before. I remember one of the streams, but it is that thing of like you do get kind of promised where it's like you can actually be a complete fucking retard and like you'll manage to make a couple bucks, and then it's like, oh, actually, you do have to be professional and work crazy hard. And I think you and me are in a similar situation where it's like, wait,
It's like I don't
you said I
wanna.
could be a huge fucking retard.
But I've been working on the retard part. I haven't been working on the other part where I changed my email.
Yeah, I think. Well, it's
It's just
you know what
emails are so expensive. Like I said, I just can't.
you know what it is too, because this kind of was the thing I was just thinking about yesterday. Because I was realizing I was just kind of thinking about not fitting into. Because I always had this weird thing where like I know I'm funny. You know what I mean? I know I'm funny. I know I'm good at this shit. But it just doesn't seems like there'd be more spots for me to fit in. And I really do think it is like you and me. I don't know what the exact because I just thought about this I just had this realization last night, so I don't have the perfect words for it. So maybe you could help me with this. Because it's not like you and me go on here and we're like
Gay.
Well, no, we do that.
Oh,
We
okay,
do
okay,
that
okay,
every time we go on here and
This
we're
wasn't the
like,
helping part. Okay, sorry.
we're the what's Colton's podcast called?
Which one? Pete My Gay? Or
Oh
Some
yeah,
of This Is Bad?
fucking tie me up and kick me in the face because I'm
The shit
gay.
out of a gay guy? Is that one?
Drag a gay guy.
I will say it to the end. Not the best name, but I'm just an ally. I'm just here to help.
You're just like, I'm just an ally producing beat up a gay guy. Welcome to a new episode of
I didn't
Kick
come
a
up with a
Gay.
name. I didn't come up. That's my main thing. I didn't come up with a name. Wasn't me.
It is really like
Pick it up with him.
no, it could be like, dude, it's a face like you going, beat my gay, and then Colton going like, beat my gay, because
Beat my gay.
he's laying across something, beat my gay. No, it's some of this is gay, right? Isn't that
we couldn't use smear the queer, so we had to use This Is Gay.
New episode of Fag Bash.
Come on. No, it's hosted by a gay guy.
Oh, like a party, like a big bash.
No, it's fun.
No, it's a cigarette party, guys. Yeah, no, we're the bear version of that. Is the joke I was trying to say. No, but it's because like we don't come on here like we come on here and we're like another episode about why life is meaningless. It's not like we're like, hey guys, how you doing? Blah blah blah, and like doing the fake positivity and stuff like that. But you and me are also like we're guys who point out the shit, but we also go, this is how it could be better. Why is it not better? Like we have this, and then there's a lot of people in comedy. There's a lot of put it a nice way. There's a lot of Grinches, and they're all just like, everything's stupid, and I'm just gonna make it worse. There's just like, and I just, you know what it is? I realized I go like a lot of comedy is for the Grinches, and I gotta tell you, I'm not a Grinch, dude. Nope. I'm not a Grinch.
No, I think I'm. It's a level of I've used the analogy plenty of times, and it's like it pisses me off because, and I think this is the problem that bugs me about the rich kid era or the representation in the same workspace is because they're acting like they need the same shots that we do, whereas we're the retards that go like, oh, there's somebody that's giving me an opportunity. Like legitimate. Speaking of Colton, the fact that he has given me an opportunity to produce his podcast, I've gotten so much better at producing and learned so much more. That kind of thing of like, he legitimately gave me a great shot.
Yeah.
Whereas if that was that same opportunity was afforded to somebody who was just like, I think I'm going to get into podcasting, like 4 years ago or 3 years ago. And it's like, because they wanted to make money, it's like, no. You don't do any of this for money, you idiots.
Stupid fuck.
Stupid fucking idiot.
Piece of fucking shit.
You do it for the fucking chat. You do it for the fucking the therapy of it, and also just the art form of it. To where when you are on somebody, when somebody does finally give you that shot, that you don't miss that opportunity because they go. It's always that thing where you're like, this was a lot of fun. It's funny. I've never heard of you, but I had a great time talking to you. Oh, it's because I've been doing it for double-digit years. You know,
Yeah.
it's the thing
Oh,
where
because I'm obsessed with this and I've practiced. I worked really hard at it.
it's because I didn't choose this. I had to do this because I can't. I don't know anything else. Like it's like legitimately that kind of thing of like. I think an opportunity where you go like, oh yeah, well, I gotta get this. There's no shot. Like no, your rent's paid. You have a huge support system. Your parents like what you do and they're proud to say it. Like it's like all
Yeah.
that stuff of like, good for you. Good for you. Yeah, yeah. You really like
Yeah.
that's the thing where I go like I didn't come to Austin to make it. I came here to work, to do
Yeah.
shit. Like
I uh
I know that this is a not an overnight thing. Like you have to fucking work at it. But like if legitimately all of the work I put in and they go like your email's weird. And I go, okay. Pew. You know what I mean? Like it,
yeah, I don't think if I'm being honest, the email thing isn't. I agree with you philosophically, but also
yeah.
the email
It's
one
my
is a really easy one to fix.
Yeah, it is a thing, but
But I
it
agree
also
with
sucks
you.
that it's been 10 years and like people have been emailing me this whole time, and it's like
Well,
nobody thought to go like
it also might not be an issue half the time. You know what I mean? It also
that's the business.
it also you know what I mean? Have you tried being a black woman?
I did try to say I did go I did the one name and then comedian for a while. I did do that. I did Pat the comedian. Didn't
Well,
work.
the problem was after comedian, you put an emoji that went like, and they're like, well, he's not confident. No,
Confident.
I'll say this because dude, it was kind of fun. We were talking about this on a recent pod because like I grew up very defensive, where it was kind of funny. Like in my school, I wasn't I wasn't like the rich kid. I was surrounded by like legitimately rich kids. Like I grew up comfy and wumpy and all that shit. But
Yeah.
like I wasn't like I grew up around rich kids. And then when I got into comedy, that's when I realized I was like, oh, that's where I like found a bunch. And so like I would get a lot of well, you know what was funny too, actually, because I think I mentioned this on the episode with Dulce, where it's like, dude, I would get made fun of because I was the only I was like the only kid in my friend
Oh
group
yeah.
that didn't have divorced parents.
Yeah, yeah, that is
So
pretty
it's
funny to make fun of those people to be like, "Oh, would your parents love you? What do you got? Lots of money and a support system."
do you have someone that'll like listen whenever you need it? Do you have someone that cares about you, fucking bitch? You don't know what living is. No, so I have sympathy for people because I've had that in my life. Is people just resent you because you have more, and it is fucking annoying. And you catch yourself being like, yo, fuck these poor people.
Yeah,
So it's like I don't on its face just count those people out, but you know, you see it though. Well, you see what you're saying is you see it 100% at the
yeah,
same time. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um,
I do
yeah,
understand the email thing, but I also just it just kind of is a frustrating thing to. I just was listening to I think it was the latest Jim Norton's advice show is Jim Norton Can't Save You or whatever,
yeah.
and he had some like Brazilian lady or I don't know what of this is her name. Jada Cata Prada.
Okay.
Jade Cata Prada.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I was just listening to that episode. I like he's like there's podcasts where like I listen to for the guest. But
Sorry. To be
oh
honest,
yeah,
Andy seems like someone who had divorced parents.
I always thought you were an only child, and then I found out you had a brother. I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, unfortunately, I get why people think I'm an only child.
Yeah.
I knew my whole thing, my personality stems from my feelings getting put to the side. Not we don't have to get super deep on this shit, but like no, it was just a thing of always like it was like it would be a thing a lot of times of my feelings would get very discounted. So that's why I get that's why I just developed a very defensive nature where I was always the guy who's like, no, I have a point. there's value in what I'm saying. So when people would like discount me, I'd get very fucking sensitive about that shit. So that's where it developed more so.
Yeah, I
But
think
yeah, I unfortunately understand why people think I'm an only child. It hurts to say, but I get it.
yeah, I no, but there was some lady, and there's some podcasts that I'll listen to, like no matter what, whoever the guest is, and sometimes I'm like, I don't really care about that. I won't listen to it or whatever. Jim Norton's is usually one where I'll listen to anybody, and then because I kind of trust his vetting process, that
Yeah.
there will be something interesting, even if I'm not familiar, I'm not a huge fan or whatever. And and there's a weird thing where, hold on, my phone was transcribing every single word that I said without me asking. I never asked it to.
Well, don't worry, because it emailed it, and no one's gonna open the email.
But she's like talking about like whatever her process is and all this other shit, and like, but she's like it comes up that her family is like super wealthy. Like she flies to Brazil, she does this, she just goes all over the place.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. There's a podcaster, or there's a Comic-Con headliner that was coming into the Creek to work the weekend, sold out like 8 fucking shows or some crazy amount. You find out his family or whatever are like billionaires. I'm just going to like, wait a minute. That's the thing now? Is that as I know that's not everybody, then like also some other like comics around here and everything like that. I think it's just me being a jealous like little dickhead, but I'm also noticing like the support or the anything like that is kind of like when I go like, I wish that I had the foresight, or at least I just wish I knew what I was fucking good at and that I could monetize. You know what I'm saying?
Brother,
Like
I
that's
feel
really
that
the last thing I feel like, the last thought on that. I feel like we've been dragging on about it. That's my
brother,
bad.
we've been dragging. Brother. What's the fucking show called? Let's be the lake and
Oh
drag it, dude.
man,
No, I mean,
time to drown.
but I feel you, bro. I have that. That's why I embrace the internet shit so much. You know what I mean? While other
Yeah.
comics are way more, because like I said, dude, like whenever I go, Dom mentioned, whenever hi Dom, um, whenever like I've talked about it too. Like I'm so bad at the hang. I'm so bad at all that shit,
Yeah.
and it's like it's why I like the internet, like because the internet opens up those lanes of like you and me. Unfortunately, have like more specific interest or no, it's not even that because it's like I like music, you like MMA. I think our personality types are more specific. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? So like it doesn't because it just goes back to what I was saying before. It's like I feel like, and I'm not like mad at anyone. I just feel like my lack of success in comedy stems from just having like an odd man out sort of thing where
Yeah.
it's not that I'm not talented and it's not that people don't fuck with me because a lot of people fuck with me. Like if I go to the Creek tonight, it's gonna be a fucking like I'm gonna be Norm, dude. Like a lot of people like me, but then I guess from my end, there's a lot of spaces in comedy that make me feel uncomfortable, and I don't like to be in them. And it's
Yeah.
why I really like the concept of embracing the internet. It's just I haven't like, I don't know, I haven't figured that out because I haven't fully understand. You know what it is? It's hard for me to maneuver in a space when I just don't know the rules. And
Yeah.
like, especially too, when comedy's full of Grinches, you have a lot of people who are kind of they're fibbers and gaslighters and shit like that.
Yeah.
And you can't really get a sense of like what the fuck actually is it. And it's
Yeah.
like that's been my big thing. It's like, dude, if I just know what it is, I can maneuver better. So, like before you hopped on, I was talking about feeling self-conscious about like when I do reaction videos, and it's like I get it. People compare that to like a fucking dorky YouTuber, but if I also know that the shitting on that comes from a place of like, oh, you're just a grumpy little pussy. You know what I mean? Like I can also
Yeah.
just go like, yeah, and I'm on here going like, is it? Am I a YouTuber doing reaction videos when I watch a fucking 5-minute video and end up talking about it for 30 minutes? It's like, no, that's just a podcast. It just happens to be like the easiest way to get it to internet people is to put the word reaction in the title. But and it does hurt when I type that. But and it's you're starting to realize you're just like, you know, when you're in the mix with a lot of fibbers, it's hard to get a grasp on like what is and what isn't. Because I also have a problem with like trusting my own emotions. So it's like it's why I do a really hard job. I do a lot of hard work at understanding what is and what isn't. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just saying, just essentially just that. Like I kind of just feel like it's a crapshoot in general, but like it is ultimately kind of it's just frustrating, like you said, the no rules, everybody acting like there's tons of rules and there's like, you didn't know this, but it's also the same. It's just the world of Grinches, where nobody necessarily has your best interest in mind, but like I was always like the reason I think I like jujitsu, think I like about like comedy is like you can work together with people on a team. You can have a team thing, or you can be just. It ultimately becomes individual shit. Like everybody's performance is based on their own preparedness. Like you can only do so much yourself, but it's just a thing where you're like, you know, I just noticed there's a lot of fucking rich kids around here, but.
No, I get it. The general impulse is valid. I think I will say I like it when, like, do you know Francis, I forget his name. He works for Barstool. He looks like the like you can just tell he has like, oh, your family killed a bunch of Indians. Like you can just see it on his face. Yeah, you guys that's old money. And when he does his comedy, he doesn't stray away from the fact that it's like, oh yeah, I grew up with like crazy rich parents. It's the ones that I just wish I was like, dude, if you just embrace it. And it's like, I am being honestly a little hypocritical myself just saying that, because like I've spent the longest time running away from it. I'm not doing that anymore because like I was immature and I felt self-conscious about it. And I realized, like we were joking about on the pod, you're really just being like, hard work. What the fuck, dude?
It's so crazy.
My internet is fucking gay today. But yeah, it's really just a middle finger to your parents and all their hard work and shit like that. So you grow up and get mature about that. But there are a lot of people that are like crazy self-conscious about this shit. And it's like when they own up to it, I respect it more. But it is still a thing where it's like, you don't need to do this.
Yeah.
That's the part of it where it's like, you don't need to do this. So like
it's like that's like somebody being a fan of something and like then also just a rich person collecting like famous people's bones or some shit. You're just like there's a moment of excess here where like I feel like you're overextending. Why don't you find a nice ragtag couple of fatties that are poor as hell?
Why don't you give back to the retarded community a little?
Well, like it'll be an exchange program. You support us. Show us what it's like to have a support system, financially and emotionally, and then we'll work from there. And then we got
an important comment to bring up though.
I know. It's really rough.
Hey guys, my cat killed my grandma, and I really just need someone to support and chill chat to hang out in.
That's exactly why we're here, man.
Yeah, we're here for you, brother. No, actually, my grandma just got shot by Mossad, and she's bleeding out there. So I think this right here is really just nice for me to have as well.
Honestly, it's not a contest or anything, but I did hear Dom fall down the stairs when she left. And I have heard her crying most of this conversation.
No, I can hear her screaming. She's going, "It's just Somali immigrants.
Yeah,
they're all they started stabbing me, and then they put me on life support so they could keep me alive to keep raping me.
National Guard's coming. Don't worry."
And you're like, "Wow, I really need this stream to kind of just chill out and just forget honestly, my problems."
I just came here to just chill, hang out. Also an alibi,
Yeah. Dude, you know what's funny? I sent you that podcast yesterday.
That's the first one I think in a long time that I actually like listened to for an extended period. There's so many times you send me a clip and it's like a 45-minute thing or an
Yeah.
hour long thing. And I'm like, I'm not watching this.
No, dude, it's so funny. There's something that happens. It happens with music a lot.
I don't know what happens. I'm like,
dude,
fuck you.
With
No. And like I said, it's the same impulse that I get when I see a video that says watch till the end. I go, nope. I missed it.
Dude,
I guess I missed out.
Do you ever get it with music? There's just something that happens where, dude, you'll hear like "Dunna," and you're like, no, it just happens. You like you turn on a documentary and within seconds you're like, no.
In 1940, all right, I'm not doing this.
Well, I did that with there was a Billy Joel documentary that they put on HBO, and I remember watching that being like, oh, they're just gonna jerk him off the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
Like Billy Joel rips, don't get me wrong, but it's not like I've had this big artistic journey so I could.
What's it been like?
What's it like?
I don't know. I've seen a lot of it. It's just you playing piano and drinking a lot. That's cool.
What's it like? What's it like writing a really, really, really approachable song, Billy?
You married supermodels. Just stop pushing it, man. You're already there. You're at the pinnacle. Stop. Don't go like.
Look like a
behind
fish.
the scenes. Look.
It's the same reason why I got no beef with what's the one with Jason? Fuck. Who's the guy from Horrible Bosses?
Oh, Smartless.
Smartless. Like, I don't dislike any of those guys.
No.
But when you see that, like, we're doing a podcast, you're like, what could you be telling us?
Yeah, I think I even audibly said to myself when I saw that, I went, fuck you.
I did the exact same thing.
It's like, what? You just stay out of... did you know this? That you have to... This is kind of going a little off, but like, with like the Golden Globes thing...
Go off, King.
But you know that you pay $500 to be considered for...
Yeah, all that stuff's fake.
And... it's $500 to be considered for the nomination, and then if you want, this is the fucking craziest fucking scam. I think it's $5,000. They can make your content available on their website. It's a fucking podcast. It's free everywhere.
Yeah,
it's everywhere.
All
YouTube, Spotify, Apple. If it's a podcast, if it's not on all those things, it's not a podcast. It's a show. It's a limited thing. It's a whatever. It's if a podcast has a definition. Club sandwich, definition. Fucking everything. When there is a thing, that's the thing. So when you go, oh, it's a podcast. So then they paid $5,500 to be considered for this Golden Globe. And guess what? When you pay for consideration, I wonder who they're going to pick. Amy Poehler at gmail.com or fucking Slappy Dickhead at dickyboogoo.com. No, they're not going to go with the funny, silly guy. They're not going to go with the guys that have been podcasting for years. Rogan, us.
That's obvious number two.
Yeah, but
it
again,
is kind of
have the $500.
It is funny too, where they're not getting it because I need it desperately.
Desperately.
Speaking of which, guys, like this video, share it, get the algorithm up.
But yeah, that's
comment on YouTube. Oh, I was gonna say that also too. I always forget about that shit because everyone always debates at these award things, and you're like, dude, it's so much like lobbying and politicking to like get them these nominations and shit like that.
Yeah,
and because I really do think the awards at this point are just for the studios and stuff because they know they can. Well, I mean, I guess it's like, well, like on I don't know if you. I watched Sinners the other day, and on HBO underneath, like you see under Sinners and Weapons and oh my god, that's been so many goddamn battles, all these battles like that. Yeah. Under all those movies, it says like Oscar nominated and all this other shit. And like because back in the day, I just felt like I was like, this all just seems like it's for the studios so they can put Oscar or Oscar award-winning director on the fucking Blu-ray and then sell a shit ton of more Blu-rays because it's not a fucking like I always remind people. I go like, guys, Macklemore beat Kendrick Lamar at the Grammys the year Kendrick put out Good Kid, Mad City, it's not real. Like, it's not a real thing that they do.
So many.
They're not actually like picking it off of merit or anything. And I didn't even hate that Macklemore album. It's fine. It was fun for the time, but you don't beat Kendrick Lamar when he puts out Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah.
I think it's all fake.
It's the thing where, like, when you see the three, very famous Hollywood actors going like, we're gonna do a podcast. You go, it's the rich kid in comedy feeling. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Or it's the people that are like, okay, I'm gonna start a business. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna have a market video, have this, and sell advertising. Like, I get it. It's good instincts to have, but like, there also needs to be somewhat of the passion for the actual thing.
Did you see?
I have all the passion, but none of the prowess.
Did you see? Netflix has podcasts now.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I saw the.
I like that though, because it is actual podcast. Because there's this one Steph listens to called Small Town Murder, Crime and Sports. That's the same two dudes do the same podcast, and one of theirs is getting on Netflix, which they're already a pretty big podcast for what they are. But it's like, oh, that's how, like, fucking back in the day. Who's Super High Me? Doug Benson. That's how Doug Benson blew up. He was like one of the first comedians with a special on Netflix, and it just kept being there. And it's like, that's cool. Now if fucking Alec Baldwin goes like, let me start a Netflix podcast, I go, that's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
But just throwing up already established podcasts on bigger platforms is pretty fucking cool to me. Now it's going to be all the big podcasts, but still.
But it's also like, that just gives you an opportunity. That just shows you that there at least is a lane for that. Say, like, it sucks that it's going to come down to the same thing where they're like, what are the ratings? What are the this? What are that? Like, give it time to fucking prove itself. I feel like podcasts are for not necessarily, they're for audiences, not necessarily for view, for
the traditional way that they track viewership.
Yeah, like, it's not supposed to be like, well, you did a 19.6 when it premiered or something, like, like, no. It's how many people subscribe. How many people actually, like, on a regular basis contribute. Like, that's the thing of, like, that's what I'm after, is building that audience where you have that. The thing that I really liked when I was listening to podcasts of where if and when I meet this person, it could be somewhat awkward because I already know so much about them that I feel like I know them, like that kind of thing of like where you have
parasocial relationship.
Yeah, I don't necessarily need the stardom or anything like that, but I do like making connections with people. I do like making people go like, oh shit, I never thought of that, or oh shit, I do that too. Like, I don't know. It's like it's legit representation. It's a legit thing where you're like, there's other people out there that think are like-minded, level-headed to some extent, but then also have their irrational, like, pet peeves. Yeah. And when you find out other people share that shit, that's what builds the bond and forms the relationship. Like, that's what I like. I like making and like maintaining relationships, whether they're big or small. You know what I'm saying? Like friendships.
Yeah, no, that's the cool thing.
Nitty gritty and shit.
Well, that's the cool thing about like podcasting in general is like you get, like you build relationships with the chat. Like I always make a joke based off of who's first in the chat. Like when Slav was still not banned on his 20th account, if he was first, I'd be like, oh, looks like racism won. And it's not that he didn't even say anything racist yet. Yeah. I just knew, I was like, oh, there's the racist guy. And then because you build that, and then when St. Ivan is first in the chat, I know he's a black guy, and I go, racism has been defeated once again today. Like you make those because you like get the bonds with people through doing that, and that's very cool and that's very fun because it is once again Triple G.
Yeah, I don't see color, so I don't see color. So.
All I see is color, but I can't hear anything. That's why I talk over people. No, so you have that like bond with the audience that is very cool because it's again you and me are inherently like not Grinches. We can be we can humbug a little here and there, but like we're
Oh yeah, we're Grumps. We're Grumps, not Grinches, for sure.
We're Grumps, not Grinches. Episode title. We're I'm gonna
which that's a lane. It's one of those things where like it's like having a strict or that teacher that like for the first time that actually taught you something. They're not necessarily nice to you. But they are helping. They may call you a dumbass, but they're gonna be like, look, dumbass, this is how you do it.
But
You know
they
what I mean?
saw
Like,
you. They saw you in a more honest to you way than most people see you. Because that's a problem I always have. Where it's like it's not that I'm not. It's not that I'm like not retarded and I'm not like a big oaf and things like that. But it's just like sometimes you talk to people and you're just like, no, you're seeing the superficial version of me. You're not actually like you don't actually get me and shit like that. And but yeah, like. Oh, that's what I was gonna say about the audience. Is like I enjoy that because inherently being a grump, not a Grinch, I look to be like. Well, we were talking about it yesterday, and I wanted to actually. I'm glad we're talking about this because I wanted to clarify it with the whole, like when you're doing your shit, being like worrying that everyone likes it. I come from a place of like I hope everyone likes it. I'm doing this because I think this is good, and I hope everyone likes it, but the place you need to be is like if they don't, that's fine, and that's where I've been more comfortable at. You know, I used to be like, oh no, anyone ever hasn't liked me, and it's like, if you don't like me, that sucks ass, dude. That's on you, I guess. But yeah, it's like we actually sit here and go like, yeah, I hope people fuck with this. It's the irony of like no one fucking with it. We're like we're the ones that actually really want you to fuck with it.
We're not. That's the thing. Is my approach has always been
we're not sorry. We're not the comics that go like, oh, a bunch of more unimaginable success. Whatever.
Yeah, I hate traveling.
God damn it!
I hate traveling to places, even Indiana or Iowa or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, go, but I do think that like we're not here for react. We're not reacting. We're it's not reaction. It's consideration. Like what we do is the thoughts and feelings that we're sharing are rooted in like not necessarily obsessing, but definitely overanalyzing most things and kind of going like, what actually bothers me? Am I like the whole reason we started this tangent was the podcast you sent me. I started listening.
Oh yeah,
and by like the fourth thing the guy was talking about, well, and that leads to this, and then this goes here because the thing you sent me started right in the middle.
Okay.
Which is good because I'm sure there was a bunch of preamble of like where they probably just talked about that they were going to talk about this stuff, but it was like him. I also love that. There's a CIA director guy that I really like that always talks about.
What was the guy's name? Simon Dixon, I think.
I think so. Yeah, the guy with the glasses.
Yeah,
he's like, yeah, this is how they do assassinations. It's really cool. They do a dossier. There's a list of names, and then they go into the airport, and they go to this place, and they kill that guy, and they come back, and then they do it again.
Oh yeah, Simon Dixon on the Peter McCormick show. If anyone wants to listen to it,
but this guy, the guy was talking about all of the things that are happening, and they're like how they can track your. Like it started right at where they can like track all of your keystrokes and everything you've done on the computer and all this other shit. And it's like after like the 17th thing of like who's actually in power, I'm like, that's where I get to the point where that's why I gave up on politics was because I go, oh, okay, yeah. It's so past. We gotta vote, guys. You know, it's so past that. Like I said, the funniest thing was at the end of this, or my whole reaction was I didn't vote for any of that.
Yeah,
I did everything that's happening. I've never voted for, and I'm pretty sure no one's ever voted for. So, if voting matters so much, why have these things happen the whole time? Like
here, real quick, let's give people a little bit of context. The podcast is this dude. I heard about him because I was listening to Metzger on Rough Week, and he name dropped him. So I was like, let me check this guy out, because it's like it goes back to this is a big thing. like people don't get with my like when I've been made fun of about like my obsession with the conspiracy stuff. It goes back to what I was saying before with like I just go like I just want to know what it is.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. I won't even share it. I just want to know.
I want to know what it is so I know how to maneuver through this world, because it's like I've just been given like it, you know, it as small scale as how comedy works. You've been told you have to do A, B, and C, and then you do it and you go like, I don't think that applied to me the way you said it did. Or if you go bigger scale and it's like, this is what you have to do, and all right, that's sick. What are we doing? You look like sick. A piggy. Oh, okay. But no, and then they go and then they go like, and you look on a larger scale and they're like, you have to do A, B, and C to have a successful life. And then you do those things and then you're in your 30s and you're like, I don't think you were right about that. It's like, I just don't. It's kind of ironic because I spend so much time looking into this shit and it's all based on not having my time wasted. So there is a bit of like, well, are you know what I mean? And, but no, it's like, that's my thing with, and I go like, bro, because dude, he was saying, so anyway, it's this guy, Simon Dixon, and he's talking about, because he's a money guy, and he's talking about how like all these like financial interest move things through the world on a large scale, almost literally like you're playing Risk or Civilization. Yeah. And because of these like big, like
all countries.
Yeah, all countries, because of large scale money interest. Dude, and the one that like fucked me up is like how they're, you know, how they're like they're bringing a lot of people into, like when it comes to immigration into England, they're like bringing a fuck ton of people in like a very like at numbers that are very inorganic to like past like immigration numbers. And it's literally, he was breaking it down almost saying like, all right, the white people aren't having kids that much anymore, and we need like a new we need a new crop of people to get put into debt slavery. And it's like, all right, these people in these countries we just bombed are having kids, let's bring them over. And you're like, and that's why I always say, I go like, dude, the explanations to these things are depressingly much more, when you look at it at that scale, they're all depressingly much more mundane than you want to accept. Where you're just like, because it's all about the way he was phrasing it, it's all about getting us into some sort of version of debt, however they do it, like getting us into like financial debt. And they're literally up there being like, all right, if they're not having kids, we don't have anyone to get into debt. Let's bring these people from third world countries so we can get them into debt. And you're like, and then when you start realizing people are playing like I was saying before, like Risk on this high level version of it, it really puts you in, it puts you into perspective on like how much you do affects the bigger picture. And it's then you sit there and you just go like, man, I just kind of want to fucking, that's why I was joking before. Like, I know I joke about it, but it's like you hear stuff like that and it's like, man, maybe I just start that food truck so I can make sure I eat a cheesesteak every day. And like, cause that's where the real joy is for me. And the idea of eating cheesesteaks, you know what I mean? Like, cause it is like where it's like, well, if I find out like what it actually fucking is, then I can maneuver in a much more productive to myself way.
Yeah. Yeah. I just kind of feel like there's so many different things. There's so many moving parts and so many aspects of this that like, protest, like at this point, even going like if I think even if there was some kind of crazy, and I'm not saying that this is what I'm not insinuating this is necessary by any means, but even if it got to a point of like a coup or like some kind of revolution in America, like that's not enough. Like that, I feel like whatever is happening now is like, I think it's too late. Like even now that we are aware of it, even if you shared this with every single person in the world, being aware of it is a sign that it's too late. Yeah, because that's the thing is like you can see that you can like it's almost like again not a much less involved game, but like Connect 4. When you put your piece here and you look over and you go, fuck. You see the 3 here. And you're like, no,
that's a good analogy when you're like, that dude in Connect 4 when you think you made like a
I
dope ass
blocked you
mood.
here and here, but what about?
There's just an obvious 3 you never saw the whole time.
Like they're about to connect 2 sets of 3 together and make it a fucking 7. Fuck you. Connect 7.
Well,
You're
dude,
fucking fucked.
you're like, actually, we did a Connect 8.
Yeah,
You
I did
little
an X.
bitch.
You fucking idiot. You weren't even watching
Yeah.
this side of the board. And
Yeah.
it's
Now a Venezuelan's eating your dog, pussy.
yeah. I don't. It's not. It's the,
Well,
they
you know
don't
what
even
the-
have to get as involved as Risk. They've done Risk. Risk is done.
You know what the irony of it is, though, is like I used to really hate the whole fucking like I'm not even gonna be a part of it, and now it's like here is the thing, they need you to because they need you to get into debt, so they need you to like do things, and then
Be
they
mad about
need
people that do that pass policy that fucks your debt over.
Yeah,
You're like,
and
wait a minute, now I'm mad at you because you made my debt worse, and you're like, well, haha, perfect.
and,
We're
but
not
that's
arguing about the debt anymore.
But that's the thing. They need people out there to, so they can pass laws to control people. It's like they need you to go out there and protest, get a couple of you shot by ICE, and now they can, in their bullshit way. Again, I was saying it before. For some reason, they need a certain amount of people going along with the grift. They can't just do it to do it. They gotta get. So there is this irony where it's like, I had a lot of contempt for the fucking disconnected, apathetic, like you're all stupid for even trying. And I go like, there is something there though, because it's like if like there is some power in not participating. So if you're going on Twitter and screaming at each other and getting involved in the culture war, if you're going out and protesting, if you're being a part of these systems, now that's easier said than done, but on its face from a functionality standpoint, that you are actually doing something by not participating.
Right. The most effective way you could absolutely do something.
Sorry, that's a good sentence. That's a good fucking sentence. They need bootlickers to make the cogs keep turning. God damn, that goes hard. Anyway, sorry. Pat.
Exactly. Well, no, that's exactly. That's the thing of like you have this level of damn, what was I just gonna say? There was a
I was saying about not participating.
Oh, that was like that's the most effective way because I've said this multiple times is the number of people that are in charge compared to the number of people that they are in charge of or rule over or have control over is so astronomically we outnumber them so many.
Yeah.
It's such a high number that like legitimately something as simple as like, okay, you want a peaceful protest, no violence, right? Like there will have to be people that are not, I wouldn't even say sacrifice, but essentially like there would be violence. But if you wanted to keep it completely nonviolent on one side, if all of the people were able to show up into one spot and just start walking towards them, just not running, not screaming, not yelling, not armed, they literally cannot kill all of us.
Yeah.
And they won't because it is in their best interest not to kill all of us.
Yeah.
Because of exactly what you just said. They need us. So if you want the non-protest, you can do that. Or simply as something as simple as this, not participating. Like I've heard a lot of people saying like, I think today actually was supposed to be a day where everybody protests. Nobody went to work. You don't buy anything. Don't spend money. Don't go to work. Don't go to any businesses. Just stay at home. And essentially don't exist. And I go like that it would work if you had the true support of every person, every citizen just didn't fucking do something for them. They would have to acknowledge it because again, that's them noticing the control because they know that they're outnumbered and they use so many different tactics to splinter us, to separate us, to make us fight with each other, infighting, all this other stuff. So we don't focus that you can do this completely non-peacefully and you can just do it by not participating in it. To say if nobody votes, that was my point. Nobody votes. Nobody, not one single vote. Who are they going to put in office?
You know what I
They
think?
can't put anybody in office because there's no votes. Like,
Yeah. You know what I think it is when it comes to not participating. You know what I think it is more so than just like no one showing up to work or no one like doing that. It's like remember we were talking about like cops who oh I don't like being the gayest guy in the world and arresting this guy for weed, but quotas and I gotta do my job. It's like it's the rules. It's like when you hit those moments, like, or if you're at a fucking if you're talking to customer service or you're at a fast food place and they're like, sorry, it's policy, and it's like clearly fucking stupid.
yeah,
It's
it's just the fact that
it's
you're just not gonna reach it over there to grab.
it's my
Yeah,
thing is like, no, it's because I like being involved in a sense where I'm a good force in the world. It's
yeah,
when we hit these roadblocks where we go, and this has been my gripe since the fucking day I was born, since the day I could think about stuff, is like, it's when we hit those roadblocks where we go, okay, we all agree this is stupid, right?
yeah,
It's like the simple shit that everyone agrees this is stupid.
yeah.
And then like everyone's like, yeah, but it's just kind of like what we do. And you're like, no, just stop doing that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's
Just
like
stop doing that.
this is, I think, what I was talking about. Wait, am I pointing this way? There we go. There is no contingency plan for plan if no one voted for a president. So like if that's the like I'm not even saying anything. Every bit of it is saying like that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing. You say that I'm not participating in democracy and I'm silence is violence. Blah, 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 blah. Like that's one of those things of like I don't like any of you motherfuckers. Put a motherfucker up there I like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Put somebody up there that I agree with, not
Yeah.
somebody that I know is lying. That's the thing is the fact that like every single person that's been offered to me over the years has been a lying son of a bitch on every
Yeah.
single fucking time. Every fucking time. And you guys keep doing this shit over and over again like it fucking matters. And you keep criticizing people like me that go, put something up that I want to vote about. When they said, hey, do you want to make weed recreational? I voted. You know
You know
what I'm
what the
saying?
irony
I
of
voted for that one.
the irony of all that shit is even when, and this is why I'm a very vocal anti-democracy guy, is I go, even when democracy is, even if it works in the most efficient way people say it hypothetically can work, there's still a chunk of people, there's still a strong minority of people who are getting they're getting their rights taken away just because the majority doesn't agree with those rights.
Yeah.
But so like, yeah, it's chill for most people, but it's like you're still, in the best case scenario, you're still stealing rights that you don't have the right to take away from people. They're getting taken away. But the reality of the situation is it always functions very far away from best case scenario. So you get these people in who they just got to win a popularity contest, and then because there's no accountability for them, they can just kind of do whatever they want as long as we're not going to show up to the front gate with guillotines. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just to be clear, that's not the solution.
No, and that's what I'm saying is like at this point you could it's no matter what it's you chop off the head, three other grow in its place. Like it's a thing where you're like it's the same idea that happened with like terrorists or something like that where these are essentially just life terrorists that are they're based they're I don't even know what to call it, like a dictatorship. You know what I mean? Like it's a weird like thing what we have where we say like yes you're voting, you're doing this, but it's also like but at this point it's too late. Like you said, there's enough people that go, well, this is how we've been doing it. It's kind of but the Constitution and it's like all this other shit where you're like, and then there's other shit that you see that is specifically just things that they're trying to agitate people to cause civil unrest, like the shit in Philly where they pulled the slavery shit off of the park walls or whatever. They're like,
oh yeah, what was it?
It was just an acknowledgement that George Washington, who was the first president of the United States, owned slaves. That's it.
Yeah.
It was just a couple plaques that said, hey, this is the truth about American history. And for no reason whatsoever, it cost taxpayers' money to send people there to take it down, as opposed to just leaving it up that didn't need to be maintained necessarily. It was just a monument, a couple plaques that said, like, here's the ugly truth about slavery. Here's the history of this. And then they took it down. It's like like that shit where I see that and I go, I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I know what you're doing. Please don't fall for this, guys. Yes, it's an absolutely stupid shit thing to do, but it's also one of those things of like, it's specifically done so that we argue with each other about that and the importance of that, instead of just going like, why are you spending? Open up the file.
We live. You know what it is, Pat. You know what it is, Pat. We don't live under a democracy. We live under a WWE-ocracy.
What?
But like, legitimately though, like, it is kind of a thing where it's like, it is almost like, don't watch this bra and panties match so you don't ask why Jake the Snake is addicted to opioids. It is kind of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it just fucking pisses me off, the kind of like rage baiting. I hate being rage baited by our own fucking government. And it's crazy that they're doing this on such a regular basis now, to where it's obvious everybody knows the fucking stupid plans that you're trying to do. Again, you got one Hitler right. And we caught you. We know you're doing the Hitler stuff. So like, we can see the plan you're doing. But do we? Is this just the fucking, this is the, look over here, look over here, look over here. And then it's like, you know what I mean? Like, what else is going on over here that there's so many fucking distractions that it just gets to a point where like it becomes overwhelming. So I listen to that show and I go, oh shit, that sounds scary. Oh man, that's scary. Oh man. And then after a while I go like, I just become numb because I'm like, I'm toast.
Yeah.
Everybody now like is toast. Everybody now and behind us is toast. Anybody future has possibilities and maybe a chance, but honestly, the way I see shit trending and the way I feel like people react and how they conduct themselves is just like, it's not giving me hope for the future. So it's kind of like it's kind of becoming one of those things where I'm like, it really does kind of bug me that like, it is nice to have reasonable, but I feel like
so here's where I'll
a reasonable group coming in. You know what I mean?
Here's where I'll push back on that a little bit, is because like I've been having a lot of fun whenever Dan Bongino tweets. I just go in his comments. I go, you covered for pedophiles. Shut the fuck up. and then I get a lot of likes on that. And it's like, I'm starting, and I was like looking at it. You see a lot of stuff like Twitter's a cesspool, but if like you can go viral by calling the president a pedophile. It's like, and then there's like dude, there's, and again, maybe this is just because they're, well, lots of thoughts. Hold on. Like this could be a offshoot of like, they're just like allowing this information to get out. But at the same time, you do see people like normal people who aren't completely just, they're not these like pundit cucks who, like the Matt Walshes of the world who go like, oh, I'm anti-gun now because a lefty got shot. Okay. And they're just fucking empty vessels and shit like that. Like, I think normal people are much more hip to a lot of this shit. And they're like, whether, they may not have the most nuanced opinions, but I think normal people fall down on sensible sides. I think the problem with that, though, with how informed the general public is, there is a weird thing where it's like, I wonder if that almost pushes them into being much more overtly authoritarian, because it's like, we can't trick them the same way. We just have to we just kind of have to fucking do it. Yeah. So I think, and that's always been the problem. It's why when people talk about different wars and things like that, they always go, oh, but America did this. I go, no, the president at the fucking time in the military did that. I didn't fucking do that. But yeah, because I think all for the most part, the general public is much more, they're not like, they may not be fucking as smart as they should be, but they're nowhere near as evil as the fucking rulers are.
Yeah. I think I think just ultimately the when you find out that nobody that is elected has actual people's best interest in mind, and the people that may actually have the best interest in mind of the people are frustrated they're the guys that are like, this ain't a dang swamp. This is a daggone. Swamps are cool. This is a
Swamps are cool.
daggone cesspool or whatever shit
Swamps
like
are
that.
cool.
This is a sewer, but it's one of those things where you're like, good points aren't doing it anymore. Like I'm seeing it so many times where people are going like,
I'm so
did
glad
you
you said
know
that.
if ICE comes up and says this, it's like they're just shooting people. It's
Yeah.
past that. We're there's not going to happen anymore to where you go like, actually, what he just did was really not cool. And
Yeah.
like everybody's just going to go like, oh fuck. No. Now, yes, we need to continue to document it and show people that it's happening because of the fact that at one point you would like to think that we would come to a reasonable, not even a reasonable, but like to a conclusion with this, and people would be held accountable.
Yeah.
But still, it comes down to a point where you're like legitimately, it's kind of a thing where like, it's not that I'm not concerned about it. It's not that I'm not aware about it. Yes, ICE absolutely could knock on my door at any point, and there's nothing I can do. I can go, I'm not answering questions. Oh, I'm not. Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter.
Because Carmela's in this country illegally.
Well, don't say it out. Just don't say it on the stream. I mean,
He's harboring illegal kitties.
well, I can't have that, like, that aspect of you.
No, you
not
have that
having
thing
the
where
right interest in mind is like one thing, but also like just going like, this guy did this. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like we got to figure out the next plane of attack. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
violence. I'm not saying attack.
No, you mean
I'm
that
saying
metaphorically.
what is the actual, like, because just saying like due to Constitution this and Amendment 47 and the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, that doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, I've
the
seen enough.
president said people shouldn't have guns, and you go, okay.
I've seen enough videos where people go, "What am I being detained for?" And cops look at them like, "Are you a fucking asshole?"
Yeah.
No,
Or they
and
reach for their handle or something like that, where you're like, what?
Well,
You know
no,
what
it's
I'm saying?
funny. It's funny too, because like what you just said applies also to like the sort of intellectual debate space on the internet. Because it's like we've been through so many rounds, and there's just like I always joke that like I've always made this point. It's like the real fuck up, besides supporting, a genocide, the real fuck up of like the Zionist is like at no point do they ever go, I get why everyone's mad, but hear me out. Because it's like that's like the most, like I see there's this clip of like Ben Shapiro debating Gavin, or he's like one of them was on one of their podcasts, and they're talking about people calling what happened in Palestine a genocide. And I've heard arguments where it's like, from a technical standpoint, you can't technically prove it's a genocide, but you're just like, well, whatever it is, it's one of the worst things that's ever fucking happened.
Yeah.
And it's like you have Ben Shapiro there. Basically getting defensive because he's just like, he has this energy of like, well, why would you even call it a genocide? People even saying that are delusional and insane. And you're just like, okay, this guy's beyond arguments. It's not about argue. That's the thing I've been on too, because you see a lot of these people, they do shit like Ben Shapiro does in that fucking interview, and you're like, these human beings are past arguments. It's not about like, because that's where I love them to death. I think they're right about everything, but that's where the libertarians fuck up, is like they come from a place of like strong arguments. Most people are a libertarian because they got convinced of it, and they go like, because I was the same way. When I first heard about this stuff, I was just going like, nah, and then you're like, huh, yeah, huh. And like, so that's how I think the things I think, is because I come from a place of like, nah, and then I go, yeah, huh. And then you think, oh, other people are just gonna do that. I just gotta get these good arguments. And then you get in these spaces and you just start realizing, you're like, it's not about having a good argument. Like I remember, dude, I'm not going to put anyone on blast, but it's like I had a lot of friends, not a lot, but it's like I had some friends that, brother, I don't know, for lack of a better word, they libtarded the fuck out during Trump. And then and then a few years down the line, it's like it sort of shifted, and like normal people were able to be like, yeah, he's kind of funny and cool and stuff like that. and you start seeing people where it's like, yo, you were gay as fuck to me, and now you're just like vibing out about this shit and like laughing about this shit, and you realize you're like so many human beings are they purely exist off of vibes. And if the vibe is Trump is triple Hitler, before he's getting there. Don't worry. I think with hard work he can get there. But like, before he did anything, they're like is the vibe Trump is triple Hitler? I guess he's triple Hitler. And it's like, oh, what's the vibe now? Trump's actually, he's still bad, but he's kind of funny. I guess that's the vibe.
By the way, if Trump, like this was my thing the entire time. If Trump was Hitler the entire time, why did you only make fun of his penis, his hands, and his skin color and his weight the whole time? Why didn't you actually do anything?
Because it's a game for everyone.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like that was the first like kind of hypocrisy thing that I noticed was them going like the right. No, wait, which one's the purple hairs? The left people were like going like, yeah, they were going. Bullying is wrong, and he's just a mean bully, and he's out here just being mean and disrespectful to women and their appearances and their things. Yeah, the Cheeto guy with the fat stomach and tiny hands and no dick, and he's a piece of shit, and he's a pedophile, and now we're actually getting news reports about this, and it's not just creepy shit he said in interviews, but news reports and actual FBI documents that go, there's files and things and pictures with very, very prominent pedophiles. So it's a thing where you're like, okay, again, you got it right, but you're still doing the thing where you're like, can you believe what he's saying? And he's such a...
and then they act a completely different way.
Guy. And you go, but it's like... And then same thing with the tyranny thing, where you go like, there's people that are like, the government can't be tyrannous and you can't do this and all this other shit. It's all this shit that's coming up, and they go, and now it's all actually happening, and all of you are all just doing the same fucking thing.
But that goes back, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier, where it's just like, you were pointing out, they're like, how can they just be so hypocritical? I go, it's not like to a lot of these people that play this game. It's the lazy go-to analogy, but it's like, it's the same way when you see people talk about their like favorite football team. Like we've all seen it where, we're watching.
Better not be from Dallas.
Dude, I caught myself doing it just because I was talking to this dude I fucking park cars with, and he's just like, he's very obnoxious if he disagrees with your sports opinion. And me, I'm not even like, I like the Eagles, but I'm not like hardcore in it. But like the way it's like, I know Jalen Hurts was, literally and figuratively dropping the ball the past couple games, but it's like the way you're talking, I'm going to go like, no, you suck. I'm going to say Jalen Hurts is the greatest ever and you're a bitch. Like you just feel that fucking impulse, but it's again, like
totally okay to do with sports, totally harmless to do with sports.
Yeah. But the problem is that's what people do all the fucking time. And I've stopped being like, that's why, again, like some of these podcasts I listen to, I really wish they would move past being like, all right, let's do a whole breakdown why this guy who's clearly a grifter is wrong about everything he said about me. And you're like,
they're exhausting you.
They're trying to waste your time
because you continue to do nothing but just bitch about the things he's doing. He's going to just keep doing things because nobody's stopping him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and which will only distract you more because you go, can you believe what he just did today? I'm going to do a breakdown of how he looked and how he sounded today.
Yeah.
We know he's incompetent. We know it. We've seen it. It's the same thing with Biden. We just saw it with fucking Biden.
Yeah.
It happens. Guys get old. It happens. He just happens to be a different kind of old dickhead. That he's not just like the corn pop.
Yeah, his hand just looks like Heroin Bob and SLC Punk.
Yeah. But that's the thing is then you get fresh-faced, dumbass fucking JD Vance in there, and then you're like, oh, the guy who's been loving everything he's been doing, you hope. That's the thing.
The guy who's
the hope part of it, where we hope that somebody sensible comes in. Some of the people that are saying don't be tyrannous. Some of the people that are saying he's being Hitler. All these other people, but they're just going like, when you start seeing that shit, they go like, can you believe this is happening? It's like,
well, that's where people got fucked up on. That's where people got fucked up on. Why, like, there was a bunch of people on my like in like a bunch of people like me, and you saw a lot of the podcasters and stuff who like put their support behind Trump, and everyone was like, and then now that Trump's doing all the bullshit, everyone's like, this is exactly what you wanted. And you go like, that's not what they said.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of those fucking interviews. I've watched a lot of those fucking podcasts where they were talking about that shit. A lot of those people were being like, it was essentially, they're like, yeah, I'd rather, again, going back to like you were saying, hope. They'd hope and they'd rather roll the dice with Trump over Kamala. And it's like, yeah man, because that's all you, like you just said, that's all you have anymore. You have really, like, all you have is like, okay, in the midst of you guys doing the most evil shit in the world constantly, could you maybe like lower taxes a little or maybe not bomb as many people, please?
Brother, there's so many people that are like, can you believe they've given him this platform? And you go, well, there's liberal shows. Did any liberal show invite him on to talk? Because that's the other thing is like, challenge him. You say that like it's because he has this platform from podcasters, but he was the president of the United States of America. That's a pretty big platform, if I may. That is, I would say, one of the biggest platforms you can imagine. Probably bigger than Rogan.
That platform. Wait, what's bigger than Rogan?
Being the president of the United States of America.
You know, it's funny. Rogan still probably gets more views.
More views, yeah, but who, like, as far as
he's got more power than Rogan, yeah.
It's still very, very close. So it's like not like one of those things of like nobody knew who he was until Rogan had him on. I'm sure you guys could have had him on too, but you're so concerned about not giving him a platform while he is dancing and jiving away on a fucking platform the whole time, doing all the. How do you think people are seeing all the things he's doing?
It's because they know they're gonna get butt fucked. You know what I mean? Right. It's the same reason like Dave Smith beefing with Matt Walsh right now on Twitter. And Matt Walsh is being like, not everything needs to be a podcast, Dave. I know I upload daily podcasts and I'm talking into microphones constantly. And I'm a political guy who my only job is to talk about politics. But not everything has to be on a podcast. You know, we could argue about this on Twitter in fucking paragraph after paragraph. And it's because it's like, yeah, Matt Walsh, because you know you're a fucking shill for your fucking baby boy Ben boss who's a cuck for Israel and all this shit. It's like, you know, you got shit. So that's why you're making up bullshit so you won't go fucking talk to these people. And then the other thing I was going to say, because that's just basically what they do. They know they're going to look like fucking dumbasses because Trump's just a better liar than them. And candidate Trump was saying things that people liked. He was addressing the concerns of the American people. Now, did he, fulfill any of that? No. But that's the thing. Like when you're campaigning, you can say whatever the fuck you want. Yeah. And like, they have to go on and they have to go like, actually, here's why this very popular thing you're saying is actually bad. And they can't do that. Also, the other thing that drives me fucking nuts is just the whole, you shouldn't platform this person. It's this weird dichotomy where it's like, they're wrong. They're a really bad person. We're much smarter than them. But I wouldn't dare have a conversation with them and embarrass them publicly. You're like, oh, so you actually don't believe in yourself. Because the irony of that is like, dude, I fucking listened to, it was kind of funny. I listened to when Trump did Rogan. I listened to that and I actually had to turn it off pretty early because I go like, this guy's so fucking annoying. Yeah. That in and of itself made me dislike Trump. Because dude, just hearing him unedited, just have a conversation.
Yeah, it's different.
It revealed so much more about the guy than any clip of him saying something fucked up. Because it made me realize, I go like, dude, bro couldn't go 2 sentences. Every single thing he made up, every single thing he brought up, he had to be like, it was the best version of that there ever was. Yeah. I was the best at doing that.
Nobody's ever even done that before. And it's just like one of those things where you're like, it's a level of not even narcissism, but like just
insecurity,
compulsive lying. Yeah. It's this weird thing of like, I don't know if it's a ruse. I don't know if it's just a legitimate character flaw, but I don't like those types of people. And I don't care how successful or non-successful he is in business or any other thing. Any person asking me to support them that talk like him would absolutely not get my support ever.
So you hear him talk for 5 seconds and you're like, this is a bad person.
Comes back to just him or something like that. So like, it's a thing where like I can say that I don't like Trump and I wouldn't vote for him and I never voted for him, but it's also it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's no matter if you support him or not. He's gotten the office of presidency twice. He was democratically elected twice, unfortunately, and whether you like it or not, 51% or more of the country thought that he was the right choice. And out of those two, I don't think there's a right choice. When you have a non-democratically elected person up for the Democratic position, and you know what I mean? Like she was elected vice president. She wasn't elected the presidential nominee.
Yeah, she was vice president. They waited till it got past the
Yeah.
primaries, and then
But then that's the one that was still at that time saying we have to do this so we stop tyranny. And I'm like, well, what the fuck are you doing, man? So it's a wrong side, both sides. But no matter what, if you give any candidate, any fucking candidate, any business owner, Mark Zuckerberg, fucking Elon Musk, any of these motherfuckers that have been on Rogan, they all stink. That's why they're so good at other stuff. They're not good at podcasting or talking. So it's a thing where you go like, if you go like, Elon sounds like such a dork. It's because he is a fucking dork. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't know how to act like a human. It's because he's a billionaire. He's not a human anymore. He's gone past that now.
I thought whatever alien race he was, you knew it, and it started with a B.
Yeah, he's a squint like tires.
He's a big giant shapeshifter.
But there's just so many things where you're like, you can't. The last person that was at the George W. Bush when people were like the poll was who's the guy you'd rather have a beer with, and it's like, man, that we were fucked then. Like that it was. I think it was too late then. So like the fact that we've continued to do this shit, it's just we're just exposing more, we're just seeing more, or not, or we're being told misinformation. But no matter what, at this point, I think it's beyond the amount of comprehension. We don't know what's going on.
It's interesting too how, like the more you learn and the more you pay attention, it is always like fascinating how absolutely stupid the conversation is. Like that also I think that's a technique whoever they are, that's a technique they employ to like stifle creative thinking or something like that. Cause it's like when the conversation is, hey guys, it's actually okay to pick a president based off of who you'd want to have a beer with.
Yeah.
And you go like, guys, there's a million people I'd want to have a beer with that I wouldn't want to be in charge of a fucking Staples, dude.
An Arby's, for fuck's sake. Like,
dude, yeah, like a fucking a fucking Arby's that's not busy. I wouldn't want people in charge of that.
Because that's the thing is because I know that there's a possibility that some people, innocent enough, would go to an Arby's and get food poisoning from their non-food, and it would be on your fault. So like it's that's totally fine to say like, oh, this guy's cool. I guess he could be the attaché to the president, but the president should be a fucking somewhat autistic, pretty autistic. like
that's dude. I was talking to someone. I remember I was talking to Nate got introduced to, have you ever heard of Thomas Sowell?
Mm-mm.
He's like what's his technical title? Economist.
Uh-huh.
Wrote a shitload of books, a lot of papers, just like public intellect. Very smart dude, economist for, I forget who it was, but either way, he's very, very popular. And someone brought him up, and I remember Nate's response. And I'm not trying to shit on Nate. I love Nate. His response was, here, wait, let me pull up Thomas Sowell. His response was like very centered around how fucked up his hair was. And I go like, yeah, he's an economist.
Yeah.
You want like, I don't want an economist to look like fucking, I don't know, like a pampered rapper.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's Timothy Chalamet, I'm not going to listen to him or anything.
Yeah, I don't want to know Timothy Chalamet's opinion on policy. And it's like, yeah, dude, you want him to look like fucking dorks.
Yeah, I want him in muted clothing. I want him probably even poorly lit. He looks like it's a little too professional, but that's because he's visiting someone else's show, right?
Yeah. Dude, when they go like, I just want a president I could have a beer with. I go, I want a president who doesn't drink beer. Actually, now that I think about it, I want a president who's like
doesn't have time for beers.
I want him to only drink alcohol on Christmas and Thanksgiving, but he has like 2 at most.
Yeah, I want him to not be able to drink coffee at a certain time so he can get some sleep.
He's got I need a president with a very sensitive stomach.
Yeah, well rested, not gluttonous, like not like we don't. It's been a fucking chant in their protests for almost 10 years. No kings, and guess what you got? You got Hitler King. You got King Hitler. Idiots. You've been calling him a fucking king and a Hitler this whole time, and I have not been arguing you. Like, it's one of those things of like, just again, silence is not violence, but it's like, yeah, gay president. Gay president would be a fun start. I think it would be not a gay lady president. Let's not put
no. She'd be getting in way more fights than we're already getting.
Yikes! Holy smokes. There would be no barbecues left.
Can I pull this up real quick before we get out of here? Just because Ilhan Omar, who I don't know a lot of specifics about her, but every time she talks, I don't like her vibe, and I'm pretty sure most of anything she promotes is a lot of times the opposite of things I like. So
I don't know who this is, but I have seen this.
This video's, I do got to give her respect because this dude comes up, pulls out something. I think he hits her with a squirt gun or something. Like he squirts her with something. But then there's something about her impulse to be like, I'm going to punch him once.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I kind of respect that. Yeah. To have your impulse to be like, I'm going to go punch him.
Yeah, I think he sprayed her with some shit to just like stinky stuff to make her smell bad. And I also respect the fuck that she went back and finished her goddamn speech. I was just like, all right, enough of that fucking dickhead. Like that, to me, if you're a public figure in any sense, like the fact that like senators, like people just get shot randomly at these like events and stuff like that, like planners, city planners, or whatever it may be, whether it's a conspiracy or not. This guy spraying her with shit is completely disrespectful, and the fact that she has the instinct to, instead of going like and like hiding or something like that, to like go after him, it's pretty cool. So it's a thing where you're like, I don't know what, I get it, like it's the Minneapolis thing, it's everybody's fault. It's again something way bigger is happening somewhere, but it's being blamed on lower level people. And shit is going to, whether it's their fault or not. Somebody knew something about this.
All the Minneapolis shit is crazy too, because it is like it's so funny. It's so calculated. Like I don't know if the Nick Shirley guy is part of it, or they were like, everyone's talking about Minneapolis. You guys want to go? Like they're like, we already got a bunch of shit set up over there after George Floyd and Rittenhouse. Like, you know, that's kind of like, is Minneapolis just like a staging ground for them?
It's like when a fast food chain releases a new food item. Like every influencer is like, well, I gotta do I gotta give my take. I mean,
not because like every video you see of ICE right now is only from Minneapolis. You're like, they're everywhere though, aren't they?
Yeah,
or do they? I actually know, because I think they're saying like ICE is gearing up to go. Like I think they're like on tour right now. I don't think they just go. I think they're just on. ICE is on tour, and they're just hitting. Like right now, they're doing a weekend in Minneapolis, and then they're gonna hit up Philly, and then they're gonna like end the tour strong and somewhere else. But all this ICE shit too just feels so. Because that's the funny thing too about the ICE stuff is you see a lot of conservatives being like, well, how else could they do it? You're like, a lot of other ways. And funny enough, I was listening to this one thing. They're not even like they're not even getting people out of this country in like insane numbers. It's like it's literally at a rate slightly higher than Biden. Like it's just I was like, I would have assumed it's like, okay, you're like, you would have assumed that it's like a crazy high number of people. You're like, they're just doing it in a substantially more violent way than they did it on previous presidents. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, you guys don't have to You don't have to do it in such a retarded way.
Yeah, I think it's a yeah, definitely without murdering civilians for sure, without murdering anybody. I think the killing people in general, like we talked about this for a short time about like with cops, like how many how many huge incidents come out of like just regular routine traffic stops or something like that because de-escalation wasn't implemented or
Or
whatever
like
the
in
fuck it may be,
the
or there's
we
the fact
talked
that people are
about
scared.
we also talked about, or they create a lot of aggressive scenarios like in SWAT raids and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
where you
Where they
break
just
into someone's house at 4 a.m.
so it's a thing where they're taking like some of the worst tactics and utilizing almost exclusively those, and then also knowing they're being filmed, also having cameras on them, saying some of the craziest, most hateful shit, inciting violence. Like the one person said, you say my name" or something like that, and I erase yours, or some shit. Again, I don't know, and this is individuals saying this.
Yeah.
Like it's not necessarily, but there's still one that I saw. Like these are the people that I go like, yeah, I think if you get personal information on them or anything like that, you should share it. It's not hurting anybody. Filming people is not harming an investigation. They're saying now that if you are following them, not even necessarily in their way, but you're behind them going that way. So there's every one of these aspects. They're saying this is you obstructing with federal investigations, and it's like that just seems like you're given a card of things that you're saying that will try to scare people into thinking that you can do what you're doing, and you can't do it. So it's one of those things that like I think it's gonna get crazy. I don't think it's gonna get necessarily better, but I think they're playing with they're heavily represented in the fuck around and find out chart, and I don't know what's gonna happen when they go to Philly. I don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what's gonna happen because it's just a thing where you're like that's where the pride in their city and the history in the city and this is one of the founding cities of the country, and Philadelphia is the birth.
Yeah.
All this
Well,
other
and there's
shit.
also
That's where that stuff does come in handy, and that's where I feel like no matter what, people know that this is morally wrong, and you can shout it at them, you can protest them, you can get in their way, you can follow them, you can dox them, you can do all that other stuff. But like, you just we have to just continue to just say how unacceptable this is, and hope that one day these people get held accountable, whether it be by a governing body or by the population.
yeah,
And I
it's
don't. And again, I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do. The right thing to do is for them to stand the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? Like, is for them to realize,
well,
like, you could do this. Even what they're doing, you're not even like the fact that you're not even slow rolling it to be like they did the illegal immigrant thing, where everybody's like, well, you know, if you're here illegally, it's one of those things, which is kind of true. It's like I don't agree with how they did it, but it's one of those things of like there was a shadow of like they kind of are doing federal shit. Like you can't.
well, you also
Then when you just start saying coming up to people and going like, "Where are you from? Do you have papers? What's your
yeah.
what hospital were you born at?
You're like,
What,
hey, can you
what's the
guys
name of the
please?
hospital? Like all this
Can
shit.
you
I'm like,
guys do
what
this
the
in a
fuck
way?
are you talking about?
Can you guys please do this in a way that feels very Nazi-y? Because no,
Yeah.
because like there's a lot of bullshit in it with the way they're doing it. Because it's like the one thing I was listening to, they were making a great point where it's like, why are they making such a show of it in these like democratic cities where they know they're going to get a lot of pushback and like create a lot of problems? And it's like, yeah, why aren't you guys starting with like Texas and Kentucky and
Yeah.
Arizona where you
Florida.
it's gonna Florida, it's gonna be some like there's gonna be people being like, they're over here, Bob. You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't that be your not saying do that? Why wouldn't
No.
that be your strategy? And then on top of that, why not? It's like, okay, you could just pull up to like any food processing warehouse or whatever the fuck it's called and just clean up.
Yeah.
Like, why aren't you like there's a specific reason they're going like, okay, so it just seems like there's a specific reason they're going to areas that they know they're going to have the most conflict. And it's almost like they're telling them, they're like, also just, you can do whatever you fucking want. Cause like,
Yeah.
They had the one dude. There was like the one lady filming, and
Yeah.
then the guy goes like, "Oh, I put you in a database. You're in a
Yeah,
database now."
Yeah, it's a thing of like I think Triple G's got it. Yeah, they wouldn't pull that shit in Texas. But he said, yeah, if you raise your voice to me, I'll erase yours. That's what it was. You raise your voice, I erase
Yeah,
yours.
and then
like,
the other one too was the guy literally is like, just for filming, he's like, I put you in a database now, and you're like, for what? What
Yeah.
are we talking about?
yeah, a database of what? What's the database?
Is it a
And that's what I'm saying,
database
is
of
like,
Is it a database of people following laws? Not. It's like, oh, we've now made this database of people who didn't commit crimes.
yeah, cool. Got it. So I'm on the innocent list. Thanks so much.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I'm on the guy who didn't do anything illegal list. Hell yeah, yeah. What am I gonna get for fucking didn't do anything wrong Christmas?
But I feel
That's
like
just Christmas.
I just feel like the court that's I think represented in Dark Knight Rises, I think it is, where they have a bunch of people and they're like,
The
hey,
third one, right?
I think so, yeah, where they're like, you're guilty, and then they just put them out on a frozen lake. I think it's fitting. You know what I'm saying? Like you just go like, yeah, ice. Good luck. Go for it. If you can cross the river, then you live, or whatever the fuck it is. It's these things where you're like, they're being so hateful and cruel that I'm not even saying karma wise. I'm just saying like, it's a thing where you're like, when you do shit and you don't feel like, every once in a while when you're like, man, if I've done horrible things, morally it's wrong, but it's also like there's like a history. There is a database. There's a thing. So like, you better hope you fucking finish whatever job these goons have you working, because otherwise it's going to come back on you. So it's one of those things where like, good luck. Keep spraying, ladies. Keep spraying the politicians. That's the problem. That's the issue. We got it. Yeah, get that politician lady that you disagree with. Again, you're saying I don't really agree with her. Would you ever spray her with anything?
Well,
like besides cum?
Come on, man. Now it's definitely not going to happen.
Sorry, you're right. It's like a birthday wish. You can't say it out loud.
Cock block, dude. It's a good way to put it, where it's like, it's like, we're not saying to do anything, but it's that thing of like, with how cruel this is, how cruel they're being with how they're going about it. You're like, people don't always forget shit. It's just, it's that, I think that's kind of the point you're getting at, where you're like, when you create this much animosity, it's like, this is pretty bad. And I'm also worried where that's going to lead us,
Yeah. Like, not only just morally while you're doing it, is like, you should go like, is this wrong? Is this illegal? Or anything like that. Not even that, but like, golden rule, baby. Like, do you want somebody coming up to you, pressuring you with a ton of questions in your home country, in your neighborhood or whatever, wherever you are? Do you want somebody just coming up to you going like, where are you from? What hospital you were born in? Do you have your birth certificate on you right now? Your social security. The cop, the fucking nice guy, asked for a social security number. No.
Yeah, I literally.
I don't give a fuck. I'm here 100% illegal or legally. You know what I'm saying? I have all the proper documentation. I'm a fucking U.S. citizen, stupid.
Bro, I have to ask my wife.
It doesn't matter. If you come up
time
to me and you ask me that, you ask me any of those questions, I'm going to get really upset with you. And I'm going to go, what the fuck are you talking about? Who are you?
That's what government. That's what government and these cops and these situations create so much, where it's like, I fortunately haven't had to be in a lot of experiences with like overly aggressive cops, but every time I see those videos, I'm always just like, that's not how a human being, like it's almost like, like when they make the joke, you sound like an alien that's trying to sound like a human.
Yeah.
It's like they have that same energy, but like substantially more aggressive. Like if the alien was like, I'm in charge though.
Yeah.
Like that's the big thing with a lot of these interactions, where you're just like, it's like, before you even get to the breakdown of like who was more wrong and who was more right and who should have done what, from the jump, you're like, why did this happen? Why are you talking to people like that? This doesn't exist. This
the
doesn't
way it
exist
started,
in reality the way human beings talk to each other.
Yeah, when you go into a place and you just switch the roles. If you walk into a convenience store and you go, "Hey, where are you from? What's your social security number?" You came into my store, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's like
Dude,
a thing
it's
where you're
like I
like,
was
I'm fucking working here.
It's like I was talking about with the Breonna Taylor thing. They're like, everyone would be like, yeah, but her like boyfriend shot at the cops. I go, yeah, when they broke into his apartment at 4 a.m. You're like,
Right.
yeah, he was defending himself against intruders.
Right. It's just a thing where you're like, if you come up to me and you say, I agree with what Triple G is saying. I've said a million times, catch more flies with honey than you do vinegar.
I do like that wholesome way of putting it.
But it's true. It's legitimately, literally, I've said this before. The golden rule is how I deal with I don't need a religion. I don't need a fucking political party. I don't need anything like that. I don't even need good parents. All I need is legitimately the golden rule. Treat people the way you would like to be treated. That is, am I perfect at it? By no means am I perfect at it. But if I were to just very quickly in any of these situations, just think, how would I act if somebody barged into my house and started demanding things?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just legitimately, even if it was a police officer, like legitimately, and you've seen ICE agents and stuff like that dealing with local law enforcement, whether it be there was that one guy that got pulled over for drunk driving with his kids in the car, that, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff. Like
the ICE agent got pulled over?
Yeah. And the ICE agent was like, just call your supervisor. And the cop's like, why don't you step out of the vehicle? Like, no, you're drunk driving. You are not above this law. You may be above warrants or anything else, but like legitimately, if you jaywalk, you're going down. So it's a thing where you can't necessarily when they're arguing with the local police officers, you can't. It's not even a moral or justifiable thing of like you know what's right or wrong in the situation. If you were to just take a moment and just reflect a little bit, just to go like, hey, I know that I understand that we just pulled you over randomly, in your opinion, but I just want to let you know we ran your plates here. It came up under a person that is here in the country that we believe illegally, and we're just following up on that. Legitimately, brother, I don't think that it's necessarily okay to do that. I don't agree with that, but I also go like, that is a 10 times better way than knee on neck, shoot them in the face in case they have a gun. They have a gun, or they have a gun. Did they pull it on you? No, I just saw a gun, so I shot him. Like that legitimately goes against every argument I've heard. I've never even heard liberals say that you should. Well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. It's what happens when. Well, it goes back to the accountability thing, because like it's what happens when like these ICE agents know, like you got JD Vance up there saying like nothing's gonna happen to you guys, don't worry, and then like the way that they're behaving, it's like, I mean, they must have, before they go out, it must be on par with like a college football team, the fucking rally pep talk that they're getting, because they do operate in a way where they're like, I am above these people. Like, dude, I saw it, bro. I saw it. I was out and about downtown in Austin, and this car got really close to this biker, and then this biker hit the guy's car, and then the guy pulled over. Like, he just kind of like slapped his car or whatever, and the guy pulled over, and I was like watching this happen, and the guy's yelling at the biker, and then like the way that the biker, like he's like, the biker's completely justified for being angry, but he like whips his cell phone out and he starts recording, and like, dude, you could, and then you look in the guy's car, and it's like, yeah, he's probably driving reckless, but it's like the guy's car was fucked up, parts were hanging off of it. You could see, you're like, oh, he's a retarded guy, and like he's gonna say something insane, and I gotta look at the biker, and dude, the evil smile on this face that this dude got, because he's like, I am superior to him, I am in the right, I am gonna I have power over it, like the power he realized of like being able to like ruin this guy's life. It's like, dude, if you give that to someone, some people, they think they're good people, but then they get that type of power and they just become a fucking villain in the shittiest movie you ever watched. And I think I think a lot of ICE agents are getting that where
Yeah.
like they know at this point, they know they're getting a lot of they know they're gonna experience a lot of conflict. None of them are well trained. They're not trained to have that like mental fortitude that you should have in situations like this. And
Critical
I think
thinking.
it's
just
it's just but even not even just but like honestly, I will say like you need it at a higher level when you're coming into so much hostility. Now, if you're the hostility is earned, but regardless, it is a thing of like it's just normal people who aren't trained properly. And I think they're getting, mixed with the lack of accountability on if they do something wrong, they're getting this like this high off of being like, I'm fucking in charge here. And it's just, it's making people act fucked up, man.
Well, speaking of fucked up, I got to shit and piss like a big time.
Hell yeah. Well, I gotta go watch my camera feed of your bathroom. So that is actually perfect timing. All right, guys, this was fun. We'll see you on the next one. See you Friday. We love you all. Have a good one.